Turning now to the murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Sky News is reporting today, right now, that body parts have been found belonging to Khashoggi. They were found in the garden of the Saudi consul general's home. This as Turkish President Erdogan gave a speech earlier today saying that there is strong evidence that Khashoggi's murder was planned and carried out by Saudi operatives. Here now is White House Senior Advisor for Strategic Communications, Mercedes Schlapp. Mercedes, thanks very much for joining us this morning on a very busy morning.
Yes.
First off, your reaction to these developments as Sky News is reporting body parts have been found in the home of the Saudi consul general.
Well, obviously, we're very saddened by this tragic incident that happened to this journalist. As the president has said, we are looking for a full and complete investigation. This includes, obviously, the information that Saudi Arabia is providing, as well as Turkey and our own people in the region. So, again, our goal here is to make sure that we get to the bottom of it, where there will be a full and transparent investigation.
What is the plan should there be evidence that points directly to the Crown Prince? Is there a plan to deal with that at the White House?
Again, you know, President Trump has been talking to Saudi Arabia, to the king, as well as to the Crown Prince. There's a continual dialogue there. And as the president has mentioned, we want to get to the bottom of it. We're keeping our eyes wide open. That's something that Jared Kushner said yesterday. And so it's very important that we look and have this investigation completed. He mentioned last week, President Trump, that that giving Saudi Arabia several days to deal with this. This is obviously an incredibly tragic incident. As we know, we've offered condolences to the family. And this is something that we're going to be taking a look at.
You're taking a look at it, but at the same time, you have Iran, really the terrorists in the region, and the U.S. and the Saudis were in connection, unified against Iran. I recognize that makes this different than just looking at what has taken place and saying we're walking away. So what can you tell us about the relationship between the Saudis and the U.S., given Iran's presence?
Look, I don't think we're walking away. Obviously, you know that Saudi Arabia is a very important ally in the region. As you know, they're very critical in in dealing with the malign activities in Iran and Syria. With that being said, our eyes are wide open when it comes to what we've seen to be this horrific tragedy with Khashoggi, and the goal here is to ensure that Saudi Arabia can provide a full and transparent investigation.
Mercedes, well, let me turn to the migrant caravan. The president is standing firm on the border as this caravan makes its way north. We're now looking at 7,000 people on that caravan. Is the president ready to deploy the military, as he said?
Look, right now we're encouraged with the work that the Mexican government is doing. As we know, this is just what we have seen right now is a massive problem in dealing with this caravan. But let's keep in mind that every day our Custom Border Patrol agents, they're basically detaining about 1,500 illegal aliens that are crossing our borders. So this crisis has been going on for a very long time. This has to do to the fact that the Democrats are the ones who have created this problem. They have remained silent, in essence, in basically addressing this issue. Their slogan clearly is open borders. And the president, for a very long time, has asked the Democrats to come to the table to come up with a negotiation in terms of making sure that we're able to close these legal loopholes. We have to remember that once these illegal aliens are coming into the country, there's so many of them that the CBP doesn't have the authority to remove them. If they're claiming asylum and they use the two words credible fear, then they're put into a process that can take up to 3 or 4 years to even get a hearing. So again, in so many of these cases, what we're seeing is that these illegal aliens are being simply released into our interior. It's been a crisis for a very long time. Right now, we're seeing the optics of 7,000 people that want to come to the United States, and it's something that we're watching very carefully.
It's very extraordinary. So what is the plan regarding immigration regarding, the president has talked about tax cuts 2.0. Obviously the midterms are 2 weeks away, but give us your priorities post the midterms in terms of these important issues like immigration. What does the president want to do?
Immigration is obviously going to be very critical. The president has talked about the importance of getting wall funding to be able to secure the border. Also, very important are closing these legal loopholes, the catch and release component, the idea that right now these individuals who are coming to our country illegally are simply detained. After the 20 days, they're basically released into the interior if they're these family units. And so we need to ensure that that stops. We have seen a substantial increase in the number of family units that are coming to the United States. And you have to understand, it's important to understand that the Central Americans are treated differently than the Mexicans. If they're Central Americans, because of the laws and the books, they're allowed to come in, and then hands are tied. They're then basically released into the interior if they're family units. Detention space is we're almost at capacity. And the mere fact that the Democrats obstruct, refuse to come to the table to solve these immigration issues is, I think, very detrimental for us to be able to secure the border. This is why it's so important that, especially for President Trump, that we're able to move forward to have real immigration reform, where our Customs Border Patrol agents have the authority to detain and remove these illegal aliens. There is a legal way to come into this country, and individuals who want to come to America should do it legally, not the way that they're doing in a sense that they're forcing themselves into the United States.
Why is catch and release different for different sets of groups, Mercedes?
Again, this was a law that was passed in the 1990s. At that point, they were looking to see if, with Central America in particular, at the crisis at the time, we want to make sure that they're treated the same, which is, in essence, is making sure that you go in through a legal process. If you're detained, you should be able to be removed if you come in illegally. Right. And that's, in essence, to ensure that we're able to secure our borders.
Understood. Mercedes, it's good to talk with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.